delving deeper into the issues of housing.
What type of services are you guys thinking about that there's a lack of?
A lot of families, low-income families, are leaving the city.
There's so many different people here with different perspectives.
Families are spending a lot more money, a bigger part of their incomes on housing, and therefore it puts pressures on other parts of their family life. The purpose of today's summit was to really delve into this issue much more deeply, to understand what are organizations already doing out there, what kind of resources are we providing to individuals so that they can get housing assistance, so that they can get directed to utility assistance, to counseling for financial problems or legal issues that might prevent them from going into housing.
The market study found that we needed in excess of 37,000 units that rented at $425 a month or less.
There's a big gap, we've got to close it, and yet we also have to look at the fact that we need to put it around transit areas where there's already services, and not put people high and dry in the middle of nowhere.
People now are moving outside the city because that is where the affordable housing cost is. What seemingly appears to be an affordable housing cost becomes more unmanageable than they anticipated.
The double-edged sword of spreading out further and further is that we're actually spreading our investments thinner and thinner on the public side. And so that eventually translates to fewer and fewer public services within arm's reach of people where they live.
When you're back at the office and you're thinking about and planning where are you going to provide services, unless you expect everybody to get to those services and facilities by car, please talk to us first, because it's much easier for us to give you advice, to give you insight, or to make changes if we know about it beforehand.
We work with tenants who are facing eviction, need for repairs, need for a reasonable accommodation of a disability in their existing unit.
The majority of the resources in our database are helping with about $50 at a time. The people who are calling us are usually needing much more than that.
Those services, do y'all offer them there on site?
The purpose of the table discussions was to identify what kind of systemic change is needed to ensure that the safety net is maximizing the use of its resources and working the most effectively.
So we're losing the leverage of the local owner.
Having a conversation with them about the advantages of the vouchers for veterans would be much easier than it would be to try to find somebody whose owner is on Wall Street.
You're losing those units for affordable income or affordable living for the other people also.
It really takes everybody within the community to focus on how we can come up with solutions.
Hopefully all of the information from these forums will culminate in a dialogue about systemic change that was identified in each part of the safety net, and maybe some systemic change that can cut across all the areas of the safety net.